and you know, oh, tomorrow no grains for me, and I just I like my Schweizer Knäckebrot so much, but not possible tomorrow. You are a little bit disturbed, but if the night before you make a plan with determination, okay, tomorrow is no Schweizer Knäckebrot, it's a grain, but what we make is something with quinoa and capillaries, you know, and so on. So by making plans with determination, you can give up nasty desires, for instance, in relation to eating for sense gratification. Do you know how you can conquer your anger? Are you sometimes angry?
With pranayama.
Anger is not my problem. I have other problems. Envy I have. But when you have anger, you must work on another, bring your mind to another thing. You must give up envy on someone. Are you sometimes greedy for money? No, hopefully he doesn't single me out. Don't worry, I will not take any money. You must discuss the disadvantages of accumulating wealth, and in this way you can give up greed. And by discussing the truth, one can give up all fear. Are you sometimes fearful? We all are. When we go through a dark forest at midnight, for instance, and it makes you know, and we become fearful at that time. But then we can see that we should go into the truth. Okay, what made who? Oh, it was only an oil lamp. And what is an oil lamp? An owl. And you can give up all kinds of fear. There's a story in the Pancharatra. There was a fox who had a foxhole, and he came back to the foxhole after there was a war happening. So when he in that area, so when he came to his foxhole, it made always this sound, and he thought these were gunshots. So then he came back after 1 week, and again he heard this sound. He came back after 1 month, but again they're still shooting there. So the fox decided, but maybe not. Let me find out the truth. And he came close. What did he say? He saw a drum by a dead soldier. You know, they use drums for marching. And there was a wind, and it would blow some grass on the drum, and therefore it was the sound. So when you are afraid of something, you must discuss the truth, and then it will change your perspective. There are many such things. Do you sometimes have lamentation and illusion? I think we all. At that time, you need to get together with the devotee and discuss spiritual knowledge. And there are many tips like this. And if you want to read them, they are really self-help tips from the Bhagavatam. I strongly recommend you 7th canto, chapter 15, verses 22 to 25. That is all about changing your perspective and coming into another place. I would like to now do something with you, a little exercise, changing your perspective of japa, changing all this pratipaksha bhavana, my dear devotees, can also be translated in reframing. When you do something in a repeated way, you will have a certain feeling feeling or association about it. Now, most of the devotees who do japa, which I have met, don't feel so attracted to japa as they do towards Kirtan, for instance. And in order to feel attraction to japa, they need to reframe their experience, or let me say it differently, they need to practice pratibhaksha bhavana in relation to japa. I have one person from the Gurukul, I know one person from the Gurukul. He went to various Eastern Gurukuls when he was young, and I once asked him, I never see you doing japa. Is there a reason? And he said, yeah, I cannot relate to japa, but to Kirtan very much. Then I said, could there be a reason why you cannot relate to japa so much? And he said, yeah, when we were children and we did mischief, then the teachers caught us and they said, okay, you did so much mischief. You threw paper at the person who sat next to you, like children do. I also did this when I was a child. I had a gummi and I was sometimes as a teacher. and so on. It was just mean and not character. Yeah, so anyway, so then when we did mischief, the teacher said, now for your punishment you need to chant 2 rounds. So all the other children could go and take their noon prasadam, but the mischief doer had to do japa. Now, what happened to this poor child? The child was thinking japa is punishment, not very, it cannot be inspiring. Now, many of us have similar samskaras. Oh, japa, 16 rounds, and 16 rounds in one go. It means I will be bored, I will fall asleep, I will most probably feel unengaged, I will have material desires and material perspectives in myself, and I will ask myself, what's the use anyway of doing it? This cannot please Krishna. I can't imagine that this is a bona fide spiritual practice. So if you have such secret doubts, such secret unacknowledged doubts, you need to refrain your japa. You need to change your mood towards japa into another mood. And this morning I talked to a few devotees. We were just sitting, and I said that I had seen in one Zoom japa workshop by Mahatma Prabhu that he had used affirmations in japa. And I had thought at that time, affirmation, this new age stuff, which is actually based on inflating the ego. I had my opinion about it. Then Krishna Chaitanya Maharaj, a god brother whom I respect very dearly for his thoughtfulness, he visited our ashram and he said, you know what, Sacinandana Maharaj, I was in your japa retreat, but I also saw the japa retreat of Mahatma, and he used affirmation. Since I do that, it really works. reaction. But then I thought, you don't know everything, Sacinandana Swami, don't be so arrogant. There can be affirmations which you say, which help a great devotee like Krishna Chaitanya Maharaj. So let's again revisit this. And why don't you try yourself? Why do you pass a judgment without having even tried it? So then I looked at the affirmation, and the affirmations were like this. I wish to chant, I get to chant, and I love to chant. You say this to yourself. This is based on a spiritual principle that the soul, who is the origin of our life force, and so on, which is the silent observer in many cases, often very covered, that this soul wishes to be with Krishna, the soul wishes to obtain divine blessings, the soul wishes really, like anything, to taste Ananda, the Paramananda, Sri Krishna, and so on. This is it's not false to say, I wish to chant because chanting gives me all these things which I inherently desire. So you say, I wish to chant, I get to chant, that is, I have the opportunity to chant, and I love to chant. So I would like to make this with all of you. Please take your bead back. We will do, I will prepare you a little, and then we will chant 2 rounds together. I think some of you will say, good idea, because my rounds are where I wish them to be for today. We will chant special. I will first do a simple exercise which will make you experience the power of sound, okay? Because japa is having association with Krishna in the form of his sound vibration. So we first need to become a little sensitive to this. And then I will from time to time use these affirmations. I will change them a little bit to surprise you and keep you on track. Are you willing to do this?
Yes.
Good. I request you to sit properly. We try to aim at a stable, straight sitting position. And we will just experience the magic of sound. We will take one name of the Maha Mantra, and we will just chant this in a monosyllable fashion. I will chant 1 time alone, and then we will chant 3 times together.
Amen.
mantra in one voice for a bit. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Absorb the sound. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One more time, please. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now, please listen to this affirmation. It is my deepest desire to chant nicely. The next affirmation. I now have the opportunity to do so. And the third, actually, I love to chant. Please chant now on your own. We will have about 2 rounds to go together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Please continue to chant. I will say some affirmations. Please continue to chant. Don't stop, please. I wish to chant in an absorbed way. Try your best. Please continue to chant. I'm grateful for the opportunity to chant. Actually, it's easy and very Krishna conscious to chant. Please continue for a little while. I wish to chant. I get to chant. I actually love to chant.
was in America, I met one godbrother of mine, and we discussed a little on the Prati Paksha Bhavana, and he gave me an insight. He said there's a saying in America, unless you frame your life, you will be framed. In other words, unless you decide which way you would like your thoughts to go, your thoughts will decide where you go. And he said to me, the English word, you will be framed, means also something else. It means people will come and mob against you and frame you, that is, put you in some corner. I would like to tell you this story. I will call it the most terrible night ever. There was once a young man who went to Romania, and in his travels he came to Transylvania. The word brought uncanny memories of Bram Stoker's novel Count Dracula to his memory. There was in the past a historic figure called Dracula, who was known for his very harsh punishment of the Turkish invader. He would put them on a sharpened stick or pole, and then pull them down, and they would have the stick in their behind, and it would take them 3 days to die, and they would bleed to death. So after this very cruel method of punishing, legend has a bloodthirsty monster, and this is well documented in the movie industry. So this young man came to Transylvania. He didn't believe in all this stuff, so he took in the evening, went to the guest house. He took a room, and he somewhat slept well until it was around 12 o'clock where he heard the scream. Oops, what was that? He woke up. Maybe there's something to Dracula. Maybe it's not just a legend. The next thing is he heard on the corridor before his room. It was a wooden corridor. He heard the steps. And the steps stopped before his door. Wow, he's after me. Then the door, all of a sudden, the door flew open and the window flew open. Or was it the window first and the door second? And the next moment he sees through two red glowing eyes coming at him, and then he feels the slit, near his, what is it called, jugular vein, Halsschlagader. And he screams, help, 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 Jesus, amen, hallelujah. The next thing he knows is that the light goes on, and there's this very healthy looking, very big-bodied woman from the guest house, and said, "What's wrong with you?" And he says, "Dracula came." Nonsense, there's no Dracula. No, I heard him outside the window. And that was our female goat. She gave birth to a child. Finally, we have another small goat. Yeah, but then I heard the steps on the wooden boards before my room, and they stopped there. Yeah, young men, we have wooden door, and it moves in the night, and it came just, but after your door, we have stone floor. So that's why it stopped there. But then the door! Yeah, there was our windows are old, they opened and then a gust of wind came in. And but tell me, here, look at this. There's blood coming from my jugular vein. Oh, our cat likes to sleep at the feet of guests. And because you were behaving so much like a British city man, you were scaring our poor cat, and she jumped and must have come close to your face with one of her paws. What happened here? First of all, the mind interpreted the things in one way, and then another pratipakshana bhavana happened, and the young student became peaceful. My dear devotees, this is what you have to learn. Your mind is constantly replaying the old samskaras like a broken record that does not move forward. You have these grooves in the record, so you have also samskaras, and they replay again and again the same story. I'm not good enough, or I'm too sensitive. Oh, this Hare Krishna, Hare Ram doesn't work with me. It is the same thing, and unless you bring something new against it, or you purify the whole thing totally. This is the second method, and we will hear about it in a moment. You will go according to the old programs. And we have studied this a little bit, and if you study human interactions and so on, you will see that most of people are replaying the same things. They don't have new thoughts. They don't have new conversations. They don't have new experiences. They replay and replay, replay and replay. A mediocre life and mediocre thoughts. So the most powerful replacement of old thoughts, which I do know of, is gratitude. Ours is a culture of gratitude. Gratitude based on the understanding that Krishna is in control of my life, Govinda, and Krishna gives me what I need to get at this stage of life. And he has his good plan, his good design for me. Devotees in great acharyas teach us that at the beginning, the end and the middle of anything, there should be auspicious invocations. And listen to them, you will see that they have to do a lot with gratitude. The great grammarian Patanjali says, he's also a grammarian by the way, Mangalani Mangala Madhyani Mangalantani Ishastrani Patatante Nirakushani Cha Bhavan Anti Yushmat Praryushani Cha Adyetarasha Siddhata Yatasyu Iti. Translation. He talks about acharyas who do this auspicious invocation. Those acharyas who compose literature that have grateful, auspicious invocations at the beginning, middle, and end of their compositions become extremely powerful and long-lived. So, okay, if an individual has acknowledges his kritagyan, he's grateful, and from that place gives invocations, he becomes powerful and long-lived. The students of such literature obtain the fulfillment of all desires. This is from the Mahabhasya on the Ashtam.
Svadhyaya scripture. Any scripture. My dear devotees, Vaishnavas in our lives never ever forget to count the blessings. There is one composition, Mukta Charita, from Raghunath Das Goswami, the Pearl pastime. Most of you have heard at times from it. Very beautiful pastime. It starts out with a verse which is chanted at the beginning of lectures by many devotees for days. Nama Shveshtam Manumapi Sachiputram Matrasarupam Rupam Tasyagajam Urupurim Maturim Yustavati Radha Kundam Giribalamaho Radhika Madhavasham Rakto Yasya Radhika Kripaya Shri Guru Tanatosi. It means I offer my obeisances. This is at the beginning of the work of Mukta Charita. Raghunath Goswami has written his gratitude for his spiritual master. I offer my obeisances to Sri Guru, by whose abundant mercy I have obtained the topmost name of Hari. My Diksha mantra, this is the Gayatri mantra, the old association of Shachi Devi's son. Who's Shachi Devi's son? Yes, it's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. By the grace of my Guru, I have attained the association of Svarup Damodar Goswami, Srila Rupa Goswami, and his elder brother of Sri Sanatana Goswami. Besides this, I have attained the topmost abode of Sri Mathura. In Mathura, I have attained the Vrindavan forest, as well as Sri Govardhan and Radhakund. Most importantly, by the mercy of that Sri Guru, I have obtained the hope of rendering service to Sri Sri Radhika Madhava. It's verse 4 of Mukta Charita. If you wish, you can make a photo with your photographic function in your new mobile phone and have some good words there to learn, where you actually acknowledge gratefulness. Can't we be grateful? We also have attained the holy name. We also have attained, some of us, the Diksha mantras. Others are aspiring for this. We have attained good association. We have heard about Mathura, Vrindavan, Dham and its holy places. And more than anything, I think we have in us an internal GPS, a desire that moves us on towards Radha and Krishna. We have this hope. Where would we be without this hope? That one day I can render service. So there are many, I have collected some verses here and stick them in my book from Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti and Jiva Goswami, and they all always have this one thing. They change their perspective into that of gratitude. Let us revisit and remember this beautiful morning class by our Swayam Bhagavan Keshava Maharaj this morning. He was telling us about how Vidura was insulted actually and banished from his kingdom, from the kingdom by his evil nephew Duryodhana. Duryodhana lashed out to him in the public assembly. He was actually the prime minister, the mantri of the Hastinapur Empire. He was not just some yo schmo. No, he was the prime minister. This Duryodhana, this young, incomplete, who had a voice like a braying donkey, he said to him, you have always sided with our enemies. It's not a fact. You have always acted like an enemy, although we gave so much to you. And can't you understand your position? You are a servant. We keep you, we feed you, we dress you, and still you go against us. Yes, Vidura saw, he knew the psychology of Dhritarashtra's son, Duryodhana. He could see what this was really a person who was obsessed with Aham and Mameti to a degree that he was demoniac, really. But he could also see the hand of Krishna in this. And he was thus grateful that he was directed by the Lord to leave the kingdom and go on pilgrimage and just stop being part of these terrible palace intrigues, which were really too much. There were, black magic was used there by Duryodhana and his people. They used witchcraft, they used really deception and so on and so forth. But he could go now on pilgrimage for his own purification. He was grateful. He could have stayed with what happened from Duryodhana to him. That, oh no, this is my relative. I tried so much to advise him. I was keeping here. I stayed just to benefit these gurus. And this is the reward. He's insulting me before everyone. And he could be very heartbroken, like some of us are who get a bad email and who stay with this. But he chose some other perception, this perception of seeing Krishna's hand in there. How can you be grateful? You can be grateful when you leave the controller mentality, that you do everything on your own steam, and you enter the dependent mentality, where you understand the Lord, my protector, is taking care of me. So, this is something on gratitude. I would like to now do a little exercise with you, and then we will stop. It's the concluding exercise for today. There are many devotees who have been convinced by these and this method. They have read verses from the Bhagavatam where they saw great devotees like Parikshit Maharaj using this method. In 1:19.4, Parikshit Maharaj is talking about this mental transformation. You know, the king heard from a messenger that he had been cursed to die in 7 days. The father of Shringi, this boy who had spoken this curse over Parikshit, the father had sent a messenger which informed him, who informed Parikshit Maharaj about his imminent death. So here is a verse. This says how Parikshit reacted. First of all, he was sitting in his palace and said, "Oh, I did really a mistake, which I repent. For a moment I couldn't control my mind. And when I was not received by the saint and not offered even a little water, I put a snake around his neck." So while the king was thus repenting, Sacinandana, thinking with anxiety. Idam atashmito Sacinandana idam atashmino yata. While he was thus repenting, he received news of his imminent death. The messenger arrived and said, I come from Sham. What was his name? Shamkarishi. I'm not 100% sure. So he received the death news, which would be, the death would be due to the bite of a snake bird, occasioned by the curse spoken by the sage's son. The king accepted this, however, as good news, for it would be the cause of his indifference toward worldly things. Parikshit thought, wow, now I can disentangle myself from my political career. He was the emperor of a vast, vast kingdom. And now I can focus only on Krishna. And so on. Prabhupada says, his material assets as the emperor of the world were setbacks to perfect attainment of his rightful status as one of the associates of the Lord in the spiritual sky. As a devotee of the Lord, he could understand that the cursing of the Brahmin boy, although unwise, was a blessing upon him, being the cause of detachment from worldly affairs, both political and social. Shamika Muni, that's the father, also after regretting the incident, conveyed the news to the king as a matter of duty, so that the king would be able to prepare himself to go back to God. We have a great devotee in our midst, His Holiness Kadamba Kanana Maharaj, who received death news. Maybe his time is up to November and December, and then he will be called. I was lucky to meet Maharaj in New York in the Ratha Yatra, and I was very grief-stricken. I also have a human heart. And I asked, how do you take it? What goes on in you with this news? And Maharaj very nicely, very open-heartedly shared, we will all have to die, Sacinandana Swami. I have now noticed, and I will wind up my activities in this world now. And he also confided that, yes, I'm a little bit afraid of the pain management. There will be pain. And he doesn't want to take these heavy painkillers which will fog the brain. And yes, this needs to be managed. This is a concern. But otherwise, he took it really like a spiritual hero, I would say, who was seeing death with spiritual eyes and who also saw Krishna in it. The moment you develop a Krishna-centered perspective, my dear devotees, you can be grateful always. So I would like to guide you into an exercise now. It's a partner exercise. I know some of you don't like these exercises. Please do them anyways. No? Pratipaksha Bhavana. No? Go from one opinion to another opinion. It is good. You will see something new. And the question I would like to ask you, find out 3 things you can be grateful for on the summer camp, in this situation. Bhakti retreat, 2000, what do we have? 51 or 2022. So 3 things, and I give you a secret tip. It will be very difficult if you think self-centered. Oh, I ate the wrong combination of food. My stomach is a little upset. But if you think Krishna-centered, there is Krishna in the Bhakti retreat. It will be very easy for you to find access to gratitude. So please turn to your neighbor.